مكانك. للاستعلام كلمنا على 011 40 17 95 بضمان صوت القاهرة للصوتيات والمرئيات.
Hello from Cairo 6 o'clock news from Channel 2. I'm Mohammed Abdelminaim.
And I'm Lubna Yahya, and we're going to start away with the headlines. Prime Minister Madbouli witnesses Al Nasr Company comeback ceremony. The Palestinian Health Ministry says 43,799 Palestinians killed in Israeli offensive since October 7, 2023. Israeli strikes kill at least 2 medics in South Lebanon.
Prime Minister Mustafa Madbouli stressed that the government exerted new efforts to restore automotive industry icon in Egypt, Al Nasr Company, for automotive manufacturing in partnership with international and private corporations. This came as he witnessed the ceremony marking the comeback of Al Nasr Company to the automotive manufacturing. He also witnessed the signing of an agreement on establishing Egyptian shareholding company to manufacture electric minibus and batteries of electric buses. Details.
Prime Minister Dr. Mustafa Madbouli stressed that the government has exerted new efforts to restore the automotive industry icon in Egypt, in Nasr Company, for automotive manufacturing in partnership with international and private corporations. During his address during the ceremony marking the return of Al Nasr Company to the automotive manufacturing industry, Madbouli pointed out the company owns several potentials that cannot be neglected. He added that Al Nasr Company is now able to meet all the local market needs. He also said President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi has directed the government to push the industry in Egypt. He underscored the necessity to enhance local industry in all state sectors. Moreover, Madbouli explained that the state ownership policy document now meets making the best benefit of assets, and today's event is an example of this. Prime Minister Madbouli witnessed the signing of an agreement on establishing an Egyptian shareholding company to manufacture electric minibus and batteries of electric buses. The signing was in partnership with Emirati and Singaporean companies, and the production will be of 3 models operating with electricity and petrol of over than 45% local components for a start. Prime Minister also made an inspection tour at a Nasr factory for automotive manufacturing. During the tour, he stressed the state is expanding the automotive industry, pointing that the local market need of cars has now reached 500,000. He said the Nasr Company is one of the Egyptian pioneering industrial names, explaining that the government has tried by all means over the last few years to return this industrial icon with all what it owns of infrastructure.
Al Nasr Company for Automotive Manufacturing has announced a revival and upgrade production lines of Al Nasr Company affiliated to Metal Industries Holding Company through announcing the production of the first new bus with a high percentage of local components. This step comes in the framework of public direction to localize the automotive industry technology and increasing the percentage of local components in the products, in addition to achieving the utmost benefit of assets and its returns.
Minister of Foreign Affairs, Migration and Egyptian expatriates Badr Abdelati stressed on the necessity of stopping the escalation and tension in the region. This came during the meeting held by Foreign Minister Abdelati with his Pakistani counterpart Dar on the sidelines of the 25th Sabaniyas Forum, currently being held in the United Arab Emirates. Both ministers asserted on the importance of implementing ceasefire and ensure the access of humanitarian aid to Gaza Gaza Strip. The meeting also tackled various issues of mutual concern on regional and international levels.
Minister of Foreign Affairs, Migration, Egyptian expatriates Badr Abdulati confirmed Egypt's keenness to support efforts aimed to implement ceasefire and achieve stability in Sudan. This came during a Foreign Minister Abdulati meeting with Annette Weber, the European Union's special envoy to the Horn of Africa, on the sidelines of Sirbania's forum currently being held in Emirates. Both sides asserted their keenness to continue coordination and cooperation on issues of mutual concern, confront current challenges, and work together to enhance security and stability in the region.
Minister of Foreign Affairs, Migration and Egyptian expatriates Badr Abdulati stressed Egypt's keenness to boost bilateral relations with Latvia and maintaining political coordination between the two countries. This came during a meeting held by Abdulati with his Latvian counterpart Papia Perez on the sidelines of Sirbania's forum in the United Arab Emirates. Abdulati said that Egypt is looking forward to push joint trade. The two top diplomats also discussed the latest developments in the relations between Egypt and the European Union in the light of comprehensive strategic partnership between the two sides.
Three Palestinians were killed and others were wounded in Israeli occupation airstrikes on a house in Al-Shajaiya neighborhood east of Gaza City. 5 Palestinians were killed and others injured in other bombardments in Rafah City south of Gaza Strip. The Palestinian Health Ministry said in a statement on Saturday that 43,799 Palestinians are confirmed to have been killed and 103,601 wounded in Israel's military offensive on Gaza since October 7th of 2023.
Head of Palestinian non-governmental organizations Amgad al-Shawwa said that all attempts to have humanitarian aid access to north of Gaza failed for the 40th day in a row, with about 40 trucks only enter central and south of Strip, which covers only 7% of the needs. Al-Shawwa added that Palestinians are facing the most dangerous phase. He also pointed that all attempts of UN Food Program, UNRWA, and Palestinian organizations have failed due to Israeli stubbornness. Earlier, a UN humanitarian official said aid access in Gaza is at a low point, with deliveries to parts of the besieged north of the enclave all but impossible. The remarks run counter to a U.S. assessment earlier this week that Israel is not currently impeding humanitarian aid for the Gaza Strip, avoiding restrictions on U.S. military aid. Israel has said it has worked hard to assess the humanitarian needs in Gaza.
Palestinian presidency spokesperson Nabil Abu Rudaina said that the attack that happened in east of Nablus on civilian houses and the continuation of genocide in Gaza Strip and West Bank camps need an international action to stop Israeli aggression in Gaza Strip. Meanwhile, the Palestinian Foreign Ministry said that building the Israeli barriers aimed to Israeli expansion in the West Bank. And the ministry also added that the Israeli occupation is continuing imposing collective sanctions on Palestinian citizens.
Israeli occupation strikes in villages in South Lebanon killed at least 2 medics early on Saturday as Beirut's southern suburbs were bombarded for a 5th consecutive day. The Lebanese Health Ministry said that airstrikes killed a medic in the town of Burj Rahal in the Tyrus district south of Lebanon, and strikes on an emergency response team in the southern town of Kafr Tebnit killed 1 medic and injured 4 others, while 2 medics were missing. Israel launched at least 9 airstrikes on Hezbollah-controlled southern suburbs of Beirut. Lebanese authorities had not yet reported casualties from these attacks. Israeli occupation forces claimed that the attacks had targeted Hezbollah infrastructure in the suburbs.
The United Nations interim force in Lebanon said that an artillery shell hit its west sector headquarters in southern Lebanon's Shama. UNIFIL added in a statement that there was no injury among peacekeepers and only minor damages to a facility.
Ukrainian President Zelensky said Saturday that Kiev would like to end the war with Russia next year through diplomatic means as both countries prepare for Donald Trump's return to the White House. Zelensky spoke a day after saying the war will end sooner than it otherwise would have done once Donald Trump president. He also spoke a day after Russian President Vladimir Putin held his first phone call with major Western leader, speaking to German Chancellor Olaf Scholz, who initiated the call despite Kiev's objections.
Russian air defense units intercepted a series of Ukrainian drones in several Russian regions. Officials said many of them in Kursk's region. Russia's defense ministry said the air defenses downed 15 drones in Kursk's region on the Ukrainian border, and it said units downed 1 drone each in Bryansk region, also on the border, and in the Leipzig region farther north. The ministry said 1 drone was downed in Central Oriol region, and the governor of Belgorod region said a series of attacks had smashed windows in an apartment building and caused other damage, but no casualties were reported.
U.S. producer prices picked up in October, lifted by higher costs for services like portfolio management and airline fares, another sign that progress towards lower inflation was stalling. The report from the Labor Department followed on the heels of news that consumer inflation and barely budged last month, leaving economists to expect firmer readings in the personal consumption expenditures price indexes in October. The U.S. Central Bank tracks the PCE price measures for its 2% inflation target.
European Economic Commissioner Paolo Gentiloni said that increased protectionism of U.S. trade policy would be extremely harmful to both the United States and to Europe. The U.S. President-elect Donald Trump has floated the idea of a tariff of 10% or more on all goods imported into the United States, which is Europe's main trading partner. Gentiloni said that despite trade disputes and regulatory divergences, both regions maintain a shared interest in upholding high standards, fair competition, and stability in global markets. Gentiloni said that the countries most affected by the potential increase in U.S. tariffs would be Germany and Italy because they export the most to the United States.
The Vienna-based utility OMV said that Russia's state-owned natural gas company Gazprom stopped supplies to Austria early Saturday after it said it would stop payments for the gas following an arbitration award. The official cut-off of supplies on after Austrian Chancellor Karl Nehammer held a news conference to emphasize his country has a secure supply of alternative fuel for this winter. OMV said it would stop paying for Gazprom gas to its Austrian arm to offset a €230 million arbitration award it won from the International Chamber of Commerce over an earlier cut-off of gas to its German subsidiary.
Egypt's national football team were held to a 1-1 draw with Cape Verde in the 2025 Africa Cup of Nations 5th round qualifiers. Under coach Hussam Hassan, the Pharaohs have already secured a place in the African tournament finals in Morocco, and they currently top the Group C with a record of 13 points from all fixtures. The record 7-time African champions will continue their AFCON qualifying campaign on Tuesday against Botswana in the 6th and final round.
New Roma coach Claudio Ranieri said that the Giallorossi were one of the only two clubs that could persuade him to return to management. The 73-year-old, who began his playing career with the capital team, took over from the fired Ivan Juric. It's the third time Ranieri will coach his hometown club, having previously been in charge from 2009 to 2011 and again in 2019. Ranieri helped Cagliari avoid relegation last season and had said that would be his final club job, but he couldn't turn down Roma.
Nel caso in cui qualcosa andasse male.
Alexander Zverev surged into the semi-finals of the ATP finals after eliminating French Open and Wimbledon champion Carlos Alcaraz with a 7-6, 6-4 defeat, while Casper Ruud also advanced with a 6-4, 5-7, 6-2 win over Andrei Rublev. German Zverev came into the contest as the group leader with 2 victories from 2 matches against Rublev and Ruud, but needed to win at least 1 set against Alcaraz to book his place in the semis. The result handed Zverev a 6-5 lead in his meetings with Alcaraz, and it was the world number 2's 69th win of the season, the most victories in one season since 3 times major winner Andy Murray in 2016.
That's all the news for now. Thanks for watching. I'm Mohammed Abdel-Naim.
And this was Lubna Yahya. Thank you for watching.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الماء أصل الخير والنماء. الماء أغلى من الذهب. الماء سر الحياة، ويكفي أن الله تعالى يقول: وجعلنا من الماء كل شيء حي أفلا يؤمنون. عظم نعمة الله تعالى في الماء. كن رشيدا وحكيما في الحفاظ والاستعمال لكل قطرة ماء. لا تهدرها، لا تسرف فيها. الماء هو الجوهر الذي ينبغي أن نحافظ عليه لحياتنا ولحياة الأجيال القادمة. المياه حياة، فحافظ عليها.
اللهم يا مقيت لمادتنا بالغذاء، ويا مقيت قيمنا بما شرعت من إسلام وأحكام، نسألك أن تعيننا وتقيتنا في دار البقاء بما لا عين رأت ولا أذن سمعت ولا خطر على قلب بشر.
بدعيك يا رب بكل اسم ذكرته في القرآن، تنعم علي برحمتك وبنعمة الغفران من كل ذنب عملته يوم وبقيت عليه